So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Palm. Whoa, I'm after getting a lot of feedback in my headset there. Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Palm McGrath podcast. In what I can admit, I didn't think I was going to be as nervous about this game as I was last night when I was talking to you guys. Last night I was saying, I'll come what may, we'll take it. Woke up this morning and genuinely, there's been it's been on my mind. It's been in the back of my mind all day. It's like something that you've forgotten and you don't quite know what you've forgotten. It's like, yeah, it's one of those ones, Paddy, this morning or today, as I said, that I just can't shake, and I'm a bit more butterflies in the stomach about it today than I was yesterday. How are you feeling about this game tonight? Anything changed since we've spoken last?
No, I'm petrified. I'm absolutely petrified of what's going to happen tonight. This is the biggest game since that draw at West Ham at the end of the season before last for me. It has the most significance of any game we played even last season, because we really had nothing to worry about and nothing to play for at the end of it. So yeah, I feel like it's that day again against West Ham when Jack scored that goal and then deflected off him for the equaliser. And do you know what? I'd nearly take a 1-1 tonight. I'm feeling that petrified.
I don't have the same feeling I did that day, because I was monumentally hungover that day, and I woke up about 3 minutes before the match because I contemplated everything was going through my mind other than the match that morning. I was my sister's 30th the night before, and it was in the middle of lockdown and hadn't drank in about 4.5 months previous to that. So that was a rough one. If Villa I spent a whole lot of that match. Literally, I got cling film. I put a bag of frozen peas in my head and I got cling film and I wrapped it around my face like that. And I had to watch it in someone else's house. I couldn't be sitting there watching it and my parents looking at me. The cut I was in. So yeah. So I don't feel like that, but I do have the kind of feeling like we did before the championship, before the playoff final. I have that kind of a feeling today. That nervous excitement. Although I think the playoff final was more kind of, I'm not going to say expectancy. Well, it was expectancy, because I did expect to win that game, and to get promoted.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you know who the VAR was last weekend?
A bollocks. Sorry, no, I don't.
Maybe somebody in the comments can tell us. Right, I usually keep on top of these things, and in my head, it was Stuart Atwell. So what else does he fucking do only sit in VAR? For some reason, they think he's good at it. And then they send him out to Europe and he made a bollocks of that as well. So I think it was Stuart Atwell last week. It's Stuart Atwell again tonight. Yeah. And he's got another game at the weekend as VAR and known as a referee. What are they at like? Is this fella the VAR king or something? Or is he the king of robbing people? Well, I don't know.
Well, Paddy, I suppose here we go. Yes, it's frustrating when like the fact that if he was VAR, and like he made the mistake in the Dortmund Ajax match as well on VAR, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He was part of that team too. He made 2 mistakes there, and arguably you could say that he sent the wrong person off or he was involved in the wrong person being sent off in the West Ham game. But we've been through that. We're not going to relitigate that again.
No,
but I
just think it's very strange if it is him again. 2 weeks in a row. Familiarity breeds contempt, and that worries me.
Yeah, familiarity breeds contempt, but it does become standardization of VAR. So what you mentioned, you actually stumbled upon probably a fix to the problem. Is you have a dedicated VAR team as opposed to whatever ref feels like they don't want to travel.
Definitely not him. That's the point I'm making. Well, it always seems to be him. That's what, and for some reason, on the Premier League website, they've taken off the officials from last weekend. I've no idea why they did that, so I can't go back and check. Every other match is there. So there you are. There's my conspiracy theory for the
I
evening.
was just about to say I'm a sucker for a good conspiracy theory. I'm a good. Anyway, the team should be announced in less than a minute here, Paddy. Are you expecting any changes tonight? Are you expecting any? Well, obviously, bar the ones that we spoke about, Mings, Tuanzebe, potentially 2 centre halves. Are you expecting him to do something mad and go 5 at the back?
No. The only one I'm worried about is Jacob Ramsey. I can't see how he's fully match fit. So that's a big decision for him. Is a Carney? Does he go down the road of playing Ashley Young again? Does he put Bundy in there and put Ashley Young on the right? Whatever the case may be, that's the big burning question for tonight. And we're about to get the answer very soon.
So is on the ball. It was Atwell. Was VAR for it was VAR. It was Stuart Atwell. It was on VAR. I'm thinking maybe Sanson starts in midfield tonight.
Well,
I don't
call it up there, Neil. The team is out.
Team is out. Let's go. Here we go. So, guys.
And we do have a little bit of a change now.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Okay, let's bring it up here. Okay, let's try and figure out what this is anyway. Right. Oh, no. That's not what I'm looking for at all. Bear with me. It's not like I work for the world's largest technology company, or one of the world's largest technology companies, should I say.
Andrew Hayden asks why no Villa colours tonight. Andrew, I'm a big believer in superstitions, and I always wear Villa colours. So tonight I'm just gone for something different because I really need a change. That's why I've got no Villa colours on. No other reason. Neil will tell you, just as we're about to go live, I duck out of here and put on my Villa colours. I haven't done it tonight because it's superstition.
I had Villa colours on, and I also had the little one in a lovely Villa bib that Mr. Kelly gave me. And not only did she miss the bib, but she destroyed my Villa jersey, so I picked up the nearest thing to me. So that's my excuse for tonight. Anyway, less of that. Lineup is in Emi Martinez and goals. Matty Cash, Axel Tuanzebe and Mings, as we suspected, would be the 2 centre halves, with Matty Target as left back. McGinn and Nakamba and 2 what looks like to be a whole. That's a whole. They're 2 holding midfielders. They're 2 6s to me. And then it looks like Bailey, Buendia, El Ghazi in the 3, and then Watkins up top on his own. This to me looks like a return. This to me, actually, do you know what? I think El Ghazi might even play a bit more centrally. It looks to me like a return to the formation we played with when Ross Barkley was in the team last season. Almost like a 4-4-1-1 type formation. And I think we're going to see Buendia or El Ghazi pick up that role close to Watkins because Smith likes to play 2 attackers close to each other. He even did it with Ings and Watkins as well in that 3-5-2 situation here. McGinn moving back towards his own goals isn't ideal, but I think it's something that just has to be done when we don't have Douglas Luiz. But overall, I can't really see massive issues with that team.
I just wonder, like, does he give Bailey a free role? I'm trying to wrap my head around it here.
Yeah, that's it actually.
Like, does he play El Ghazi on the left, give Bailey the free role in behind, the 2 boys sitting deep, Buendia. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here as I go along. Yeah, that could be it. Buendia on the right, El Ghazi on the left, the 2 boys sitting deep, and Bailey is the one that's roaming around in the middle. We could be completely wrong. He could have given that role to El Ghazi as well. Who's going to help out Matty Target is the burning question.
I think McGinn is in there to help out Matty Target, and I think he plays more to the left-hand side.
Possibly.
I think that's why we're going with 2 6s.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I could agree with that. I think that's probably how that will line up. We'll have those 6 bodies sitting deep, and then you look at maybe a bit of cover on the wings, and then a free role for somebody in behind Watkins. That's the way it looks to me. The comments seem to think it's Bailey behind Watkins or Anwar behind Watkins. Yeah. I'd say that.
I actually, the more you talk about it, it's making more sense to me that Bailey goes behind Watkins now. But here's what doesn't make sense in that situation. when does the two in central midfield become a three if Bailey is there? Because you don't really want Buendia cutting in off his wing to make it into a three in defensive situations. And realistically speaking, you don't want Bailey being pulled back because it's very easy to get that second striker out of formation, out of structure. It's actually the hardest thing for playing that formation is getting to keep that second striker up there and close. And Ross Barkley was good at that because he was very bad at tracking back. And you know what? The more in the off season I watched it, and I'm not standing up for Ross Barkley, please don't get me wrong here. It comes across as being really lazy. And then what happens is when you do actually go to run back and try and tackle back and you make a foul, you look even lazier because everyone's asking, well, why haven't you been tracking back? And then the one time you track back, you make a foul, you're being very lazy. So from a structural point of view, that's a difficult thing to do. That's why I think maybe Buendia plays centrally. I think maybe Buendia plays centrally, Bailey from the right and Ghazi from the left, because Buendia is used to maybe coming back into midfield in this Villa system. Yeah. Do we agree with it? No, we've panned him for his performance against Arsenal. Just didn't have he's very lightweight, and I don't like the look of Oriol Romeo inside there either. But remember what we did last year with this Ross Barkley formation, and we spoke about it. It was one of the few games he played really well. When he came back from injury last season, and maybe we found a chink in their armor from that point of view. Let's have a look at the Southampton team, shall we? Southampton team there's no massive surprises there. Alex McCarthy in goals, Livramento, Bednarak, Salisu, Walker Peters, the nemesis that is Oriol Romeo, James Ward-Prowse, Mohamed Ali Anusi, Stuart Armstrong, Che Adams, and Adam Armstrong up front. 4-4-2. So looks like
the only real change from what we suggested last night was that Stuart Armstrong is in there, and you've got the two poster boys on the bench. Are they on the bench? Hard to read that now. Walcott and
Walcott is. Redmond isn't. So, but you know what, Paddy? Your best friend Shane Long is on the bench.
Yeah. Ready to spring from the bench when they're 4-0 down.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully that's the case because he usually does come on and break our hearts. But that's nothing out of the ordinary. We're not going to spend too much time talking about that team. Let's look and see what you guys are thinking here at the moment. So Danny's in. If we lose and perform like we did against West Ham, is Smith doomed to go? 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll hear an awful lot about it over the 2 weeks that we're facing into. Ross Quinn thinks it's going to be KG 1-0 Villa. I've seen a lot of people post on Twitter, and I think we mentioned it last night that it could be one of those mad games. And I think we might have actually mentioned it could be one of those mad games where El Ghazi plays and he comes up trumps out of nowhere and scores a penalty for us to win, like he did against Wolves, I think it was last season. And we were talking about Konza's goal, like he scored against Watford a couple of seasons ago. It could be one of those ones. So hopefully you're right, Ross. Hopefully you're right. LKA Marquez says the team needs to show up this evening, cut out the silly mistakes. We have great squad players, need to pull together. I actually kind of agree with that there's a lot of the mistakes are player driven. Some of the structure side of things are management driven, but I think there's blame on both sides, which is absolutely fine to say as well. Where do we have? So Philip says El Ghazi in. Alex Roberts says El Ghazi in. Holy moly. Interesting. So there's a couple of things there. Let's say Michael Smith, El Ghazi, let's hope he turns up and we win a pen. Not happy with Target in. He's a liability. I just don't think we've got I will have Target in there every day of the week over Ashley Young. I just don't see it with Ashley Young, unfortunately. And January can't come quick enough for us to get left back, I think. And as fortunate as it is to say about that, but I just don't see him as a left back, and I hope he proves me wrong. Paddy, actually, is Sanson on the bench? I don't think he is. He's not, Subs are Jed Steer, Courtney House, Ashley Young, Jacob Ramsey, Carney, Aaron Ramsey, Philogene Bides, Archer, and Davis. No Sanson on the bench. Let the rumor mill begin.
Anyway, let's forget about that now, because the only thing we need to talk about is what's actually going to happen, because I'm sick of rumors and he said, she said at this stage. It's just we've got to concentrate. This is a cup final tonight. We've got to go and win this game.
given target help so he doesn't get overrun by Livramento. I think that we spoke about that. I think McGinn
We
comes
spoke
in
about
there
that
as
last night.
well.
Livramento is a worry for me.
Yeah.
And for
Could be
that
playing
reason,
for the
I'm kind of
colours.
leaning towards Bailey being on the left as well, because if Bailey's on the left, I reckon that might push him back a bit. But we'll find out soon enough.
Thanks so much, Rod. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Up to Villa, everyone. Great job as always. But here's a good performance and a win. I absolutely hope to God we win tonight. And a lot of the times I come in here, wanting a win, expecting a win, thinking we can get a win. I'm really hoping for a win, however it comes tonight. I really think, and I don't think a win under kind of fluky circumstances with paper over cracks. And I know you'll see that narrative an awful lot, and I don't think it will, because I think we've been unlucky in a lot of instances, and I think a lucky win will be as good as anything. Going into the international break, as it is coming up, as we know. A lot of people worried about target. I think that's good as well. Ad says something here, and I don't know, do we have a solution for this in the team, unfortunately, at the moment, but we've no one to carry the ball in midfield, and I'm worried, if I'm honest. And think about this, guys. Think about this. If we do have McGinn and Nakamba playing a shield in front of our back four, I think Cash and Target are going to be a bit more withdrawn, and I don't think they're going to be bombing up and creating that width. And I wouldn't be surprised if we play a small bit of hoofball today. And we keep our four guys up there. There's a lot of pace up there. El Ghazi's is fast. Buendia is fast. Bailey's fast. Watkins is fast. And when I say hoofball, I suppose I mean getting the ball forward quickly, like as quick as we possibly can. I would say maybe look out for going back to the old tactic of get it to the wings as quick as we can and let our wingers carry the ball down the line, and then maybe try and work it back inside again as the Southampton team are trying to file back. But as we know, Southampton played a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2-2 is actually how they kind of play, because they play a box in the middle of midfield behind two strikers, and from that box in the middle of midfield, two of the three from Ward-Prowse, who will be Stuart Armstrong, and who's the other person? Can't remember who the other person was. They will break out to the wings and create that width, whereas Romeo will stay inside there. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting. Hasselhoff plays that really weird system of 4-2-2-2, and it is kind of confusing, but we marshaled it well last season. Michael Smith, our bench is full of talented youngsters, so I expect to see Young be the only so use of. I was reading that and I was getting ready to go, yeah, let's use youth, because I didn't get to the end of this. I was reading it. I think I'm going to make a prediction and say he makes all three subs tonight, because we're going to be up 3-0.
I hope you're right.
Dean says Bailey behind Ollie, Anwar and Emmy on the wings. Yeah, I'm behind everything like that. I actually, I'm kind of the opinion I don't really mind who plays behind Ollie at the moment, and I don't know. Will we actually see a rotation system in and around that area? And what better way to drag? What better way to drag Romeo?
Keep the full back in their box.
Yeah. And Romeo, you need to get Romeo moved out of there, because he's difficult to get around. He really is. AVFC US. I'm an AG fan, but is he the one to help defensively? No. And that's why I think McGinn is going to play more withdrawn with Nakamba, and they're going to play as a shield in front of the back four. And McGinn will, and they'll play kind of almost like a quarters defense in the NFL. I'm sorry, I'm losing. I'm going watching all the viewer count go at this stage, but they're going to take each one is going to take half the field, I think, at that stage, and just kind of help the fullbacks there. Are we going to be passive in midfield? Absolutely. Do not expect us to own possession in the middle of the field today. I think there's bigger problems than owning possession in the middle of the field, specifically with the wingers that they have, specifically early on. Expect us to when we get the ball, try and use it, but also I don't expect us to have a massive press in the middle of midfield. Fingers crossed I'm wrong, but just looking at the way the team is set up, I don't expect us to have that.
Yes.
Sorry there, guys. I'm losing track of the chats. They're coming in 90 to the gallon. There's one from Noel. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Smith into the core, as you know, but if we get beat tonight and lose to Brighton, he's gone. And I think even here the two cheerleaders, I think our pom-poms might be retired for the Smith for the Smithian fan club.
I think it's do or die tonight. I think we need our leaders to lead on the pitch tonight, to lead in that dressing room before they go out, and to really put a flea in the ear of those that aren't performing. This is a cup final. These are guys that we're going to see in the first 15 minutes, whether they're Smith in or Smith out, or whether they're playing for that badge and playing for that shirt on their back. So it's going to be a huge game for us as fans to see who's up for this fight and see who actually wants this and who is just being a passenger in this system. And you know what? If we grind something out tonight and we find a few passengers, bomb them out straight away. You know, we wondered why Mings was dropped last weekend. We wonder why Sanson is not in the team. All of these questions would ask you, does somebody think that they're passengers? We'll find out soon enough. But tonight is the night that we find out who's up for the fight.
Yeah, and we don't know what's wrong. This is an interesting one, Jason. We don't know what's wrong with Sanson, but let me. I'm okay. I think Sanson's a grand player. I think he's a very good player. I think we haven't seen a lot of him. You know, when he's injured, people criticize him for being injured. When he's fit, people, you know, he doesn't get into the team for one reason or another. I don't like petulance. I'm a petulant man myself, but I don't like
I don't
petulance. I'm a hypocrite. But I don't think that regardless of how talented you are, if it's true that he fired a water bottle at Dean Smith is well within his rights to reprimand him for a week, 2 weeks, however long he wants, because that stuff is contagious. That's, you know, people talk about, you lose the dressing room. That's how you lose the dressing room if you don't stamp that stuff out.
You don't deal with it.
And
exactly.
That's strong leadership from Dean Smith. We don't know what's happening here. I want to be really clear. We do not know what's happening here. It could be that he's not fully fit after his illness. That he trained during the week, but maybe he's not match fit after his illness. That's most likely what the issue is here. It's probably nothing to do with the what am I going to say? The rumored incident that happened at Arsenal. So I'm not going to read too much into the Sanson thing, but what I'd say is discipline is key. Regardless of whether if you're a manager on the way out, discipline is key, because that stuff is absolutely contagious. You guys, if anybody here follows the NFL, you might see that Odell Beckham Jr. has been bombed out of the Cleveland Browns for something very similar. Discipline issues, just putting himself above the team. One of the best wide receivers that the NFL ever saw. What they did was they basically paid up his contract and said, we don't care if you go to another team. Yes, we're hurting ourselves, but you're being a bit of a not nice person. So, you know, and it's hurting our team. So we're going to let you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
I've done it.
Without Sanson, before we leave it, we've paid 15 million for a player that's valued at 30 million. We all, and I'm sure Dean Smith wants him to succeed as well, because it was a big outlay of 15 million, you know, for him to do nothing. So I'm not ruling him out either. I just hope his attitude is okay.
Oh, absolutely, and I don't think this is a stubbornness thing. I think that this is most likely the fact that, look, he was ill last week. He's not fully fit again. Maybe that's it. But once again, I don't know. PSK says Aaron Hickley will hopefully sign in January. Hopefully push on to the starting 11 immediately. Yes, I would be very happy, Bunny, if that was the case. Bring it on. He's a fine player, and bring Jack Henry with him as well from Club Bruges, another Scottishman. Nice little player as well. Look, heard a lot of gossip that Purslow is holding a meeting with senior players as they've lost faith in Dean Smith. Doesn't this sound like, well, I've not heard it, but to be honest with you, like I would imagine that even if there was a players meeting and that there was people involved there, it would be spun as players have lost faith. This could very much have been a clear the air talks between a group between 2 or 3 players that were maybe bitching and moaning at each other or something like that. So I don't know. I've not.
The problem with stories like this is if there's any truth in them, they're leaked by players. And then we've got players that haven't got the arse for the fight. So then there's a problem. I don't believe Purslow would leak this himself. So for me, it does sound like a lot of bollocks. but it would be very
hopefully
unusual. We're gone past the days of Tony Jaa asking James Chester should he sack the manager. You know, this is a football club running the right way. So I'm 100% sure that wouldn't be the case.
Paul Miller, yes, I actually completely forgot about that. He said something to this magnitude, I think, in the press conference as well. Morgan Sansa coming back is good for us. Whether he's fit enough to start is something we'll have to weigh up. And look, you know, having Jacob Ramsey, Aaron Ramsey, and Kenny Chukwuemeka inside there, get your players that are 100% fit on the bench in case we need them. I firmly believe that we'll see 3 subs today, and but then again, I think that we're going to win the more and more. I think about it, and I'm really happy with this team, lads. This team is ballsy from Dean Smith tonight. This is a ballsy team, you know. Like, he's put 4 prominent attackers on the field, and he's putting a lot of faith in McGinn and Nakamba to anchor in there in the 2 6s. He's going for this in St. Mary's tonight. I like that.
It does seem that way, despite the fact that he looks like he's going to play two deep midfielders. It's attacking front 5. Is it 5?
Yeah,
losing track of how many players we have. It's you know, the fact that he's put a lot of faith again in El Ghazi. Maybe he'll go on a run and come up trumps and score a few goals and get us out of this shit. So, you know, there seems to be a lot of trust there with him. Yeah.
He's done it before when we least expected it. Yeah, Jason, the issue, Smith said Sansa was available for selection. Yeah, and if I don't know word for word if Paul's quote previously was the actual quote, but the context as I suppose.
Well, he didn't actually say he was available for selection. He said he was back in training.
I suppose
from
available
my
for
recollection.
selection.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And I like this as well. The best form of defense is attack. Well, as Kevin Keegan always said, you know, we're going to score more goals than you. You know, I'm going to put out a team that's going to try and score more goals than you. But the one thing I am worried about here is, I'm telling you, if we come off the field tonight, guys, with 35 or 40 crosses into the box, and we only score 1 goal and we lose 2-1, I think I might rip the beard from my face on the review podcast. I'm getting really frustrated with the with crossing of the ball, crosses to the back post. We saw what Emi Buendia did last day. And sorry, I lost your comment there a moment ago. But what Buendia did, getting down to the byline and cutting it back to the penalty area, that I'm hoping that we see stuff like that. Yes, defenders can get nicks on it and stuff, but what can also happen is it can turn into a screwball scramble in the defense and get players on the back foot as well. Whereas crossing the ball into Bednarek and Salisu, there's height advantages all over the place there. Like, we've got no height. Depends
where the ball comes from. We saw the ball rolled into Watkins the weekend. We also saw McGinn put a ball on the head of Danny Ings a few weeks ago. In the less crowded area just outside the 6-yard box. So all of this kind of thing is definitely how we're going to get goals. So we're going to see a bit more of it. I really hope we don't see that long raking ball into the corners, giving the ball away. I'd like to see it a little bit more patient. I'd also like to see the fans not get upset at the pass back to the keeper. There's a reason for everything. We've got to keep the ball. We can't just keep turning into danger and trying to play forward. We've got to be slow and patient with it. I think the fans will play a big part tonight. And something I meant to say last night about the West Ham game. 89 minutes, game over. A lot of people left the stadium and all you can hear is LA, LA, LA. We have some super fans out there. Obviously, there's some toxic ones too. But, you know, I think the fans will play a big part today. Most of them on a day off down in Southampton from earlier. I saw all my friends on Facebook checking into pubs in Southampton from 2:00 today. So they'll be in fine fettle come 8:00, and hopefully they'll be singing loud and proud.
Nathan Redmond is out of the team tonight, as we mentioned earlier on. Tested positive for COVID. Hasselhout has mentioned that he's in good spirits, thankfully, and he's fine. He's just resting at home. So that is that. Okay. That's where Nathan Redmond is. I'm going to leave with this one, guys, because look, there's a lot of there's not a lot of positivity, but you know what I mean. There is a lot of positivity running through the club from, you know, where structures are and specifically our youth team at the moment as well. And it's mad at this minute in time, but he's just been called up to the England under-20 squad. And Captain K says Archer is a clinical natural finisher. I can see him coming on and scoring. And you know what? If he does come on, like he has absolutely every chance to score. He reminds me of, as I said it before, he reminds me of like a Nicolas Anelka type without the same physical stature. Just the way he gets into those positions to score goals, and the fact that he's not afraid to have a shot from outside the box. If the opportunity arises, he has a shot from outside the box and can pass it into the side of the net from out there. And that's clinical, as you say yourself, Captain K. And I like it. I'm excited to see him if he does come on tonight, as always. Right, lads. I think we're going to leave you go and get to get seated in front of the match. As Alex says here, yeah, coverage is 7:30 coverage. So we fill that void of the half an hour that the Sky have robbed us of the build up. I don't know if we're any better.
We're obviously not a big enough club for the hour and a half build up on a Friday night. I'm gonna leave everybody with this stat that I listened to today on All Villa No Filler. I'll give them a bit of credit for it. The last time Southampton played on a Friday night, they lost 9-0. So maybe they don't like Friday nights. Let's go and do this.
And we're on a 1-game winning streak against Southampton as well. So there we go. There's the frivolous positivity that we like to bring from time to time. But so thanks everybody for watching in. Thanks for all your comments. We had nearly 200 people watching there, which is bloody mind-blowing. So thanks so much, everybody, for all your time. Get seated in front of the TV. I know that the obviously substandard build-up analysis is coming now because those two pros here have just broken it all down for you. But here's hoping for a win. We're going to be back with a review show probably tomorrow again about this. You know, if they win, expect us to come on later on unannounced just for the crack. And when I come on myself anyway, because I'm on the night feeds tonight. So
one of the comments just asked there, were we coming on to do a test later?
Yeah, you never know. It depends on the results. But thanks everybody so much for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. And listen, fingers crossed for a good result tonight. I think we can do it. Ballsy team selection. And as I say, all that is left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.